Good morning, students. Welcome back to C++ class. In the last class, I have explained loops, jumping statements. I have explained. So when you want to execute a block of statements, number of times until the given condition is false, we'll use the loops. So when you use the loop, every loop should have three things: initialization, condition, updation, and body of the loop. And depends on your requirement, you can use different types of loops. There are two types of loops: entry controlled and exit controlled. Okay, under entry controlled we have two types of loops, so that is a while loop and for loop. And under exit controlled loop we have a do while. That practical part today I will explain. Okay, so in order to write a C program, C++ program, here you need to open the C++ editor. Here I am using a developer C++. See, you type, already it is there. See, you can see here. Click on this. So this is an editor. Go to file, new, source file. Okay, so here I will type the program and I will show you the execution part. As usual, you include the preprocessor command. Just a minute. Mash include IO stream. Next, the next line you give the using namespace std. Using namespace std means we are using a different functions from this module in your program. Next, you write the main function, int main. In the main function, it's a function, so it should have a parenthesis. So it is a block. If it is a function, whatever function body is there, that should be enclosed between opening and closing brace. So here I have given opening and closing brace. And I'm declaring initializing one variable. See, as already explained, if it is a loop, one a variable should be initialized, tested and updated. So here first I am initializing I equals to 1. Now semicolon. Every declaration should end with the semicolon. Now after that, what I am doing is I am giving a condition. While I less than or equals to 10. So what is the purpose of my program here? I want to print numbers from 1 to 10. So what is the starting value? I equals to 1. So starting value equals to 1. And whatever values you are printing, that should be less than or equals to 10. Next, if the condition is true. See, it is a loop is a block of statements. If it is a block of statements, that should be enclosed between braces. So here cout is the output statement. I am printing a I. Now, so as already said, if it is a loop, it should have a initialization, condition and updation. So here I am updating. Means after printing a value, it should incremented by 1. Now save it. I am saving this file as a a11.cpp. Now it should be all files. Save it. Now go to execute, compile. We'll see it is throwing any error or not. 0 errors. You can see this compilation area. Errors are 0. Now execute. Execute, run. You can see here. Okay. It is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to print, actually here by default whatever values are printing, that values are horizontally printing. So if you want to print vertically or if you want to break the line, here after this you give a endn, end line. Again file, save, execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. See, now it is a printing one by one. You can observe this. So here imagine if there is no loop, if you want to get this output, how many output statements you need to write? If you want this type of output, how many output statements you need to write? If you want to print 10 values, you need to write a 10 output statements. Okay, without a loop, generally. Okay, now here using a loop, if you want to print 1,000 numbers also, this 3 lines of code is enough. Okay, what is the starting value and a range? This is called as a relation expression. Why it is called as a relation expression is here less than or equals to is the relational operator. Okay, so you are using a relation operator, so that is why it is called as a relation expression. Relation expression always it gives either true or false. So here actually while loop will come under entry control loop. No? After initializing the I value, it is checking the condition. If this condition is true, this is executing a body of the loop. But example, if the condition is false, see here I am changing I equals to 11. We'll see it will execute or not. Save, execute, compile. Nothing you are getting. See, you can see here. Why? Because in a while loop, if the condition is false, in the body part, whatever you have given, that will not be executed. Okay. So if the condition is true, as long as the condition is true, then only the body, whatever is there in the body of the loop, that will be executed. Okay, so while loop will come under entry control loop. First it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then only whatever statements are there in the body of the loop, that will be executed. Okay, so here 3 main things what you have to pass. What is the starting value? Means actually these loops are used to print values up to a given range. So example, if you want to print the numbers from 1 to 10, what is the starting value? 1. So this is called as a initialization. Initialization now means a starting value. Next, this is called as a condition here. Condition. Every time it will check the condition, means whatever value you are printing, that is below or equals to the range or not. It is according to the condition or not. If this is true, then this whatever statements are enclosed between this opening and closing, that will be executed, and this is called as a body of the loop. So here you can say that this is a body of the loop, right? Now this is a condition. Example, if you want to print numbers, only odd numbers if you want to print, here you can give like I want to print 1, 3, 5, 7 like that. So every time how much you are incrementing 2. So here instead of I plus plus means what actually it is I equals to I plus 1. So if you want to print odd numbers, alternative numbers if you want to print, you can use I, but directly it won't take here. You can give I equals to I plus 2. Save it, execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. See 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, up to the range only it is printing 1 to 10. It means it is printing numbers between 1 to 10 only. See, here I will increase this. Instead of 10, I will give 11. One more number will be added. You can see. See 1, 3, 5, 7. It means up to the range only it is printing. But how it is printing? Only alternative numbers it is printing. It is starting from a 1. What is the alternative number? 3, 5, 7, 9, 10. Now I will print only the even numbers. You see. Here I equals to, I am changing to the range, I am changing 10, I equals to I plus 2. Only the thing is starting from 2. Alternative numbers it will print. Or what is the alternative number for 2? 4. Okay, so every time it will add a 2. Now file, save it, come to execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. You can see the output screen here. It is printing numbers from 2 to 10. Okay, so like this depends on your requirement. You can here in this you can implement a condition also. Okay, when I'll explain the jumping statements, now at that time again I will explain this. Jumping statement where you can use inside a while loop. So this is a one form of loop, and this is a entry control loop. Under entry control loop, this is the first form, that is the while loop. And the next one is a exit control loop. Not exit control. In this one more loop is there, no, for loop, that we'll discuss now. Here, just all the three things same, but how you are writing, that is different. I am removing this. What is the loop is same here, for. Okay, instead of the while, what we are writing? For. Now enter I equals to 2 semicolon, I less than or equals to 10 semicolon, I plus plus. Okay, whatever condition, initialization and updation is there, no, that are written in the same line. Here you remove this, save it, go to execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. So it is printing numbers from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why it is printing numbers from 2 to 10? Because here the starting value 2 I have given. So if you change this as 1, we'll see how it will print. No errors, execute, run. See, 1 to 10 is. So what value you are giving, what is the starting value you are giving, that is the matter. So here 1 I have given. So it is printing numbers from 1 to 10. If I'll give a 2, it will print numbers from 2 to 10. Okay. So here same initialization I have given in a while loop, same initialization. Condition I have given in the while loop, same condition. Updation I have given in the while loop, updation. Okay. Understood? Now, if you want to print alternative numbers, like have you have written code in a while loop, same you can give. Here you can give I equals to I plus 2. Save it, execute, compile. Errors is 0, execute, run. See, it is printing odd numbers only. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Example, here if you are printing numbers from 2, 5, save, execute, compile, execute, run. So it is printing numbers from 1 to 10, but what is the starting value here? 2. Okay, so that is why it is printing numbers from 2 to 10. Starting value is 2, the ending value is 10. So it is printing all the numbers between 2 to 10. Alternative numbers it is printing. Same whatever things we have written in the while loop, same things we are using in a for loop. But in a different lines, different lines, I have written that initialization, condition and updation. But in a for loop, all the three things are included in a single line. That is the same. Only that is the difference. The remaining procedure is the same in a while loop, in a for loop, and in do while also. The way you write that initialization, condition, where you are writing, only that is the difference. Okay, so but what is the main advantage of using a for loop is you can decrease the code. Instead of the 3 lines, you can manage with the single line. That is the difference. Okay. Now we'll discuss about do while. Now we'll discuss about do while. Just I am changing this part. I am deleting this. See, ash include is a preprocessor IO stream, that header file we are including, and one module of that header file we are including, that is the std. Next, main function. It is a function, so it should have a braces because it is a block of statements. So you blindly you remember your things. If there is a block of statements, then there should be braces, opening and closing braces. Now here I will initialize one variable I equals to 1. So whenever you will get, actually 99.99 you can expect this question in the exam. So whenever you will get this question, for all the 3 loops, you prepare only one program. According to the syntax, you place that. That is enough. In a while loop, initialization, condition, updation. In a for loop, in the brackets only initialization, condition, updation. In a do while, only that three things you have written. No, that just that you need to remember. As usual, it is the initialization, like how you have written in a while loop. Next, come to condition. Here, actually, in case of a while loop, what we did after the initialization, immediately we used to give a while. No, so here first we will give a do. Is a keyword and it should be in lowercase. Now it is a loop. It is a body of the loop. So that should be enclosed between a braces. Now I am printing this. See out. Every time I want to break the line, I am giving a end. Okay. Now here after the semicolon, just you give I plus plus. Right. Now you may get a question where we have to write the condition. Here you have to write the condition. While means at the end of the body of the loop. But in case of while loop, at the beginning of the loop. But here at the end of the loop, we are checking the condition. I less than or equals to 10. Here it is a loop body. Next, we didn't close the main. No? At last, you have to close the main. Save it. Now, we'll see it is throwing any error or not. If is executed successfully, I'll explain each and every line. Okay, that's 0. Execute. Run. You can see it is printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, now I will explain. You see. As usual, it is a initialization. Same we did in a while loop also. Initialization. Initialization. Next, this is a body of the loop. Next, it is a condition. See, these three things you have in a while loop also. But in case of a while, what happened? This whatever this statement is that we did in we wrote in a 6th line. That is the difference. Remaining is as it is. Okay. So why? Because this here do while is called as an exit control loop. In exit control loop, after executing whatever means here I equals to 1 without checking the condition, this part of the loop is executed first. Next we will check the condition. At the end of the loop we are checking the condition. So this is called as the exit control loop. At the exit point of the body of the loop we are checking the condition. So that is why this is called as a exit control loop. And in the exit point, at the exit point we are giving a condition. And here, whatever in a while loop, we didn't give this semicolon, no? But here in a do while, it is a condition that that relation expression, whatever you are giving, no, whatever condition you are writing, that should end with the semicolon. Okay. So here you see, I am changing the I value. So previously it was correct, so it is executed successfully like this. Just a minute. It was correct, so it is printed numbers 1 to 10. Now I will check. I will give one more example. Here I equals to 11 I am giving. So actually in case of while loop, I equals to 11, already I show you nothing you got, because once the condition is false in a while loop, nothing will be executed. But here if the condition is false, then also at least for one time the body of the loop will be executed. That you can see. Execute, compile, errors is 0, execute, run. See, condition is false, but it is executing for at least for one time it is executing. That is the difference. So in some cases, if you want to execute at least one time any statement, if the condition is true or false, then where we'll use the do while. So here if the condition is false also, at least for one time the body of the loop will be executed. Next it will check the condition. Okay. Save it. execute, compile. Same how you have compiled in a C, no? Same procedure you can follow. 1 to 10. Same this I equals to I plus 2 also you can use here. I equals to I plus 2. Save it, compile, execute, run. See, 1 3 5 7 9. Okay, so like this, whatever loop it may be a while loop, it may be a do while, it may be a for, whatever loop it may be. But three things you will need: initialization, condition, body of the loop. But where you are writing that statements are different. In case of while loop, as usual, first we will give the initialization, next we will give the condition, next we will give the body of the loop. But in case of do while, initialization, body of the loop, then the condition. But three things you are getting. In case of for loop, initialization, condition, updation. In the same line, we are writing. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, now we will discuss about jumping statements. Okay, so jumping statements, there's a break, continue, and go to statements we discussed, no? That we'll do now. See example, in this example program only, I will explain a break statement. Okay, see example here. This is a simple program and I have written this program to print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so here, if here you are giving any condition like if I value is greater than 5, you want to break. Okay, so here only you can give the condition. If I value greater than 5, then I don't want to print. Range I have given, but or if I value equals to 5, that also you can give. If I equals to 5, what you want to do? You want to break it. If I equals to 5, you want to break. B-R-E-A-K, break. So this is a jump statement. If the condition is true, what happened? It will stop the loop. Okay. Right. Will execute and so here what is the actually previously the same program I have executed. If the condition is true, the statements will be executed, means it prints the values from 1 to 10. But total what example I have given in the theory, if manager account is found, I don't want to execute the remaining part. I want only one particular account, like a manager number, account number 50 I have given, no? So if the account number 50 is there, see total account numbers are 1 to 100 example. In that I want to check whether account number 50 is there or not. If 50 is there, I don't want to execute the remaining part. In that cases, you can use the break. So if I equals to 5, then I want to break here. Okay, I don't want to execute the remaining part. Save it, execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. See, it is printing 1, 3. But actually, what is our range? 1 to 10. Just a minute, I will show you the complete edit. These are the previous editors. Actually, I have not closed. See here. What is our range? It should print numbers from 1 to 10. Okay. But before executing that complete part, in between only, I am stopping that execution. Why I am stopping that? If I equals to 5, I don't want to execute the remaining part. But okay, if I equals to 5, I don't want to execute the remaining part. Why? Because actually, what is my purpose? I want to check 5 is there or not in the available numbers. What are the available numbers? 1 to 10. In that 10 numbers, whether 5 is there or not. If 5 is there, I don't want to execute the remaining part. Okay, so that is the purpose of my program. Okay, so what example theory in theory I have given? Total in the bank account holders are 100. Example. So I want to check whether account number 50 is there or not. So instead of checking each and every variable, here what we are doing is total starting value is account number 1 to 100 I have given. In between I am implementing a condition. If I equals to 50 means account number 50 is there. I don't want to execute the remaining part. So that I have given. Same example if you want I will execute. 1 here 100 example. Total numbers are 100. Now save it. Execute. Compile. No errors. Execute. Run. In another editor it is giving it seems. It is not I equals to 5. Okay, it is printing for I equals to 5. No? Here you have to give I equals to 50 because our condition is I want to check whether 50 is there or not, right? Save it, execute, compile. No errors, execute, run. See, it is printing a only it is skipping just a minute. See, up to 49 on this printing. Up to 49 it is printing. Actually, what is our range? Our range is 1 to 100, no? But it is printing 49. Why? Because, as already said, if I equals to 50, I don't want to execute the remaining part. So, once the I equals to 50 is there, it won't execute the remaining part. Okay. Now, same will implement continue. So here in a break what happened actually, once the condition is true, it won't check the remaining part. Okay, here instead of the break I am giving a continue. You see the difference. So this I equals to 5, 50 is too long, I am changing the values. I equals to 1 and in a condition 10 only I am keeping. Save it. Execute. Compile. Error 0. Execute. Run. See here what we can observe is just a minute. Here I am changing this only and this putting and this in. Here you can see the difference. Later I will explain. It is giving some error. Here I have changed the code in a do while we are getting some errors, so that later I will see. Well, see. This code I have executed in using a for loop. First we will execute this, then I will explain the token. Save it. No others. See here, yes, it is not printing. 4 it is not printing. All the remaining numbers it is printing. You can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 it is not printing. Only one particular statement is skipping. So I already in the theory part I have explained. If account example the manager is searching for all the account numbers like 1 to 100, it is searching. But when his number comes, he don't want to print. So only he want to skip the particular statement. So when you want to print the particular, skip the particular statement, then you can use the continue here. If I equals to 4, continue. So if this condition is true, the remaining part is not executed. Means only that particular statement is skipped, the remaining will be executed. See, I equals to 4, so that is why only 4 is not printed, the remaining is printed, you can see. Only that particular statement will be skipped. But in case of break, what happened? If the condition is true, the remaining part will not be executed. Means if the condition is true, here only 1, 2, 3, 4 will be printed, 5, 6, 7, 8 not will, means it will not be printed. But in case of continue, only 4 is not printed, the remaining statements will be printed. Okay, so this is about the continue. Next we will discuss about the go to statement. Okay, just a minute, I will write the code and I will explain. So here I have given some code here which illustrates go to statement. See, go to statement actually, what is the use of the go to statement? You can jump from one section to another section. So when you want to jump from one section to another section, to which section you want to jump, you need that label. Okay, so in a go to, first we'll give the label. Ineligible, this already I have explained in the theory. Ineligible is a label. Okay, next here, actually what is the purpose of our program? We are taking the age of the user. If the age is greater than age is greater than 18, then you are eligible for a vote. If it is less than 18, you are not eligible for a vote. Okay, this is not needed. See here. So here there is a label. Under this label, what I have given? See out, enter your age. The prompt is displayed, and after that the user will give the age, and that age is stored in an age variable, and that age is compared with 18. If it is less than 18, what it is giving? Go to ineligible. Again the user will go from this area to this area, because ineligible, this one and this one should be same. If the condition is false, we are directing the user to go to the same section once again. Okay, save it, execute, compile, no errors, execute, run. So here what I am giving? Enter your age. So example, if I give 25, it will give you're eligible for voting. Okay, so suppose if I give like this, execute, run. Instead of 25, I will give 15. What it will give, you see. Enter your age. If I give 12, again it will give enter your age. If I give 10, again it is giving enter your age. If I give 20, it will list. So here what happens is, if the condition is false, if the condition is, this condition is false, we are forcing the user to go to this section, this label. What you have written in this label? In this label I have given enter your age. Again, if the condition is false, the user need to give the age. Okay, as long as condition is true, you will get a prompt that you are eligible for a vote. But when you give the wrong value, means if you have given values less than 18, again you need to go to the same section. Okay, so this is about jumping statements and loops. Loops we have completed, jumping statement we have completed. In the next class, we will discuss about arrays. Thank you.